Results with Rouse, where growth is intentional and impact is inevitable. So we ask that you don't just watch, engage with us. Don't just listen, but learn with us. And don't just sit back. Come take a seat at the table. We are just getting started.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back to another episode. You are broadcasting here, Results with Rouse. You've seen the flyers, so you already know what we are here to talk about tonight. Juneteenth, number one. Civil engagement, number two. On this platform, you all, we have some dynamic leaders within Williamsburg County, South Carolina, that continues to make a difference through service, leadership, and community involvement. And so tonight, we want to be reminded of Juneteenth, not just the history, but more so the responsibility as it leads to shape individuals just like us, but our future. And so we are honored just to have these individuals that are representing their Pacific organization, but also themselves, because they have been in the forefront of being engaged, whether that's through college, whether that's just specifically in their community, and leading the effort every day. Well, we're going to get started with one of our community partners and event organizer, Miss Veronica Cooper. Miss Veronica Cooper is here tonight, you all, and we want to hear from her first as she takes us into what Juneteenth is to not just her, but the things that she have done for a number of years in the community. So welcome, Miss Cooper. How are you?
I'm good, Turquoise. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for carving out time and being here tonight. Miss Veronica, for the few people that don't know you, just a few, because many know you, but just a few that don't know you, can you kind of tell us briefly a little bit about yourself? It's an organization, and I don't want to get in the wheel because I want you to tell us about that. That is named We Deserve Better. Can you tell us about that and just kind of how that organization was formed?
Thank you. So let's start by saying who I am. I am Veronica Cooper. I'm employed part time with the town of Kingsley at Parks and Recreation as administrative assistant. And I'm also vice chair of the Historical Society of Williamsburg County that greatly supports what we are doing with Juneteenth 2026. And given that the Williamsburg County We Deserve Better organization is going to be the host and has partnership with the town of Kingstree, and of course has recruited an amazing team and a group of people that saw my vision, saw our visions in a late night telephone call that is now going to be a reality this Friday, June 19th, in Kingstree, in the Unity Park of Kingstree. This event will begin promptly at 3 o'clock. We have dynamic speakers. We're going to walk around town and just look at where we came from, where we're going, and where we are. And what we simply mean by that is we're going to start at the King Street Depot, what we call the old train station that was a part of the 1865. And in 1865, when the proclamation was signed for freedom for blacks in America, slaves. My stories and research have told me that actually Harriet Tubman came through King Street trying to hide and take um, slaves to freedom. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to tell a story about our courthouse by our clerk of court, Deepa Johnson. Our courthouse is designed and the look of it, there's only two of them in America, but we won't talk about that a lot because in August we'll come back and celebrate the 250th celebration of America. So not to tell all the secrets, there are citizens and businesses that we will lift up, and recognize on Friday. So in order to find out exactly and participate in food trucks and vendors and all these things are free to the community, we just want to bring everybody together from across the county to participate. Well, let me change that. Not just the county, but we're going to bring people from anywhere that's listening to us to come out and bring your ideas, share your thoughts, and see what we do here in Kingston.
Thank you. Thank you for that. You all of you are just tuning in. I ask that you reshare this live, but also drop any questions that you may have as we continue throughout the night. Please drop them in the comments area. Miss Cooper, I do want to go back to something you mentioned. First, I want to say big thanks to the town of Kingstree for providing this opportunity for the people, Williamsburg County and surrounding areas. So to Mayor Tisdale, thank you very much for not just saying yes, but also seeing the vision that will come to fruition on this coming Friday. So thank you again to the town of Kingstree. Miss Veronica, you mentioned Kingstree Unity Park. And when we think about Juneteenth, that is one particular word, unity. And so, can you tell us a little bit about the name behind this Unity Park? Like, what was taking place for it to be called the Kingstree Unity Park?
Well, Kirk, to be honest with you, I really don't know. I just knew that a few of us was in a meeting right after the completion of the construction of the park, and everybody was playing with names of it, and it just popped up Unity Park. And from that, and we just thought it was so appropriate for the location, what that actual ground would mean to everybody that will participate in it. And as we planned and thought about celebrating Juneteenth this Friday, what a more better place and a perfect name to bring unity to our community.
Thank you for that. Why you say you didn't know? I felt like that just sums it up in regards to the Unity Park. So thank you on how you mentioned that because I wrote down here when you talked about the back in 1865 and we talking about Juneteenth and when we talk about freedom and we talk about legacy and community empowerment. Why do you feel like this is important to be able to create such an event and bring it right there to the Kingstree Unity Park?
Because, well, I'm going to take you over another step because when we started out with We Deserve Better organization for Williamsburg County, it was shortly after we've had several deaths and shootings in the community by our young people. And we just thought that they weren't getting the proper support and understanding what it meant to be safe, and not history was given to them that why we should not do, why we should protect and love each other, not shoot and kill each other, not carry guns that we don't understand what guns are for. So, and as we talk about Juneteenth, we talk about our community, we talk about we deserve better. Mm. And so unfortunate, I happen to be working at Parks and Recreation, so I see children all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was kind of easy to bring it together to say, um, if we could come together, do things, and our mayor, we were just so blessed to have a mayor that understood and see our vision.
So, Miss Veronica, is there anything else you want to mention? We're less than really 3 to 4 days for this Juneteenth event, and I'm sure you've gotten many phone calls, social media, spreading the word, and just continuing to get it out. But is there anything else that you would want to mention to individuals that will be traveling in to the county, for those that are in the county and will be attending this event? Is there any other thing that you want to mention at this moment?
Well, the only thing that I really would like to say is first, to just thank the people that have volunteered and serve on the team to try to make this happen for our community. We have a well-versed group of people. We have people from Trio community,
Oh, thank you. The big city.
the big city of Trio, and, and of course the great city of Hemingway, and many people from. Oh my goodness, I would be remiss if I did not mention Greeleyville, South Carolina. So we somehow did not have to recruit. We said it to a couple of people, and people just came in and say, "Hey, what can I do? We want to be a part." And we do appreciate that, and all of that. Um, just coming together and working together is a part of the theme of the park, unity.
Thank you
You know,
for
we
that.
think together with small things, and big things are yet to come. So
Thank
we look forward to the change.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. And so you mentioned a couple of things. You talked about community. You shouted out different areas, and indeed the big city of Trio. So I had to emphasize that again. But you talked about community. You talking about unity, and here on this platform, Ms. Cooper, you are joined with just that. Organizations that have really been playing a part or been vital impact to our community for a number of years. And so I want our viewers to have a chance to hear from them. And you all, if you would, please help me join these next guests on the platform as we kind of talk a little bit more about what Ms. Cooper was talking about as she talked about unity, community, and silver engagement. So we want to welcome Miss Wilson, Miss Singletary, and Mr. Singleton tonight to the broadcast. Welcome each of you.
Thank you.
So out of respect, Mr. Singletary, I am going to ask these two lovely ladies if they would please first introduce themselves. If you would just start with your name, your organization, and your role.
Good evening. My name is Kendra Wilson. I am a member of Kingston Lake City Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, and currently serve as chapter president.
Thank you.
Greetings. I am Yolanda Singletary, and I currently serve as the vice president of the King Street Lake City Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Good evening. Good evening. First and foremost, thank you for having us, Turquoise. I am Kerry Singleton Jr., and I have the honor and privilege of being a proud member of the Delta Road chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Great. Welcome to each of you. I felt some little woo. I felt like I was going back to college, the grievance, and all that great stuff. So we about to have a little bit of fun with this. We're about to take it back. I hate to say it, almost like 20 plus
Don't
years.
say it. Don't say it.
But nevertheless, you all, we want to dive into this a little bit. And again, if you viewers, if you have any questions, you have your Greek members here. Show them some love in the comments area, just as they sit on the platform with many people watching all over. I want to dive into you first, Carrie. Can you tell us the year that you crossed over?
Yes, absolutely. I crossed over in the year of 2025, so just last year, spring
You
20.
know, he's a baby in the group
Oh,
Greek
yeah.
world. We still love him too.
Yeah.
Miss Kendra,
You want me to tell you when I will cross?
we just a little yes.
We should do.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're asking me?
That's what I'm asking you for sure.
I came over into Delta Land
Mm.
February 22nd, 1995, through the illustrious Alpha Xi chapter of South Carolina State University.
Y'all, I know it's about to come out. These bulldogs about to be ringing this platform. Lord,
You already know. You already know.
Miss Singletary.
I graduated in 2001 for Orangeburg Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Woo, y'all, there's some years. So we want to jump right in it. You know, when we talk about these years, obviously we see here that is not necessarily a gap, but there is indeed a significant difference in regards to when individuals join the Greek world. Because it looked a little different. Kendra, many years ago.
Hey, not too much on the minute. Not too much on the minute now.
She had to do that.
But here go Miss Singletary that jumped in the middle, and then Mr. Carey that just came on just a year ago. And so we want to talk a little bit about we heard from Miss Cooper as she mentioned Juneteenth, which at one point was not something that many of us recognized or even knew much of, right? And so when we talk about freedom, we talk about leadership and then community empowerment. KJ, I'll go to you first. What did that look like for you for community empowerment when you decided to say I want to pledge just a year ago?
Absolutely. Well, I'll say this: the want to become a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated honestly was since the womb. I'm a third generation Omega man, And what I've seen is not just what people typically say about Omega Men, the gold boots and the great chicken that we cook or grill or whatnot, but that goes into service to the community and uplifting our community. And that's something that I've always watched the Men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated do, is to actually give back to the community. I had the privilege of attending Omega Camp as a kid, and it was something that poured into us as well as looking at some of these significant brothers who are out here, doing the thing in their communities. We have very much, a lot of notable brothers who are out here making the change. And that's what made me want to become a member of Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated. It was the want to give back through the community, and I saw it as a great avenue to continue that effort.
Thank you. I'll go to you, Miss Kendra. So he talked about, obviously when he was much younger, and just being able to attend youth camp. And if you don't mind, I want to kind of go to your profession that you didn't mention, but if it's okay, by trade, Miss Wilson is a counselor, a school counselor, that is. And so she has an opportunity to work with young people every day. Um, what is that drive like when you talk about civil engagement, just seeing your kids every day in the educational world, that you're in hopes that they would transition that just every day in their communities?
For me, this is my now again. I'm dating myself. This is year 28 for me. So from the time that I started in education up until now, the drive is different with our children. So a lot of times now, it's getting them to see that it's bigger than them. It's bigger than them, and that no one person can do things by themselves. No one person can get things done by themselves. It is a collective movement, and it's okay to do something from the heart. I think the way society looks at things now, we've become a very selfish society, and our children are growing up in an era where they don't know how to give back. So that has been my charge. Once I realized that it's not there. So me just encouraging and providing opportunities for them to be able to um, take advantage of giving back and learning and understanding what civic engagement means. So
Appreciate that. I just want to ask, is there anybody that maybe potentially have two devices playing by chance? We're just getting just a little bit of feedback. No? Okay. Uh, so I want to go to you, Miss Singletary. Kendra just mentioned, like, pretty much, obviously not dating herself, but she realized that today's society, it is a little different. And you mentioned that you crossed over with the Orangeburg alumni, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
so, what was that like? That going through college, but you still wanted to make sure that you was a part of what was considered service, being in the community. And so, while you were at the historical South Carolina State University, what was that transition like, still as a young person?
Um, well, actually, Kendra and I came into South Carolina State as freshmen in '92, and my journey into Delta Land actually began on campus, and went through the process, got online for Alpha Xi, but during that time, my grandfather got sick, so we couldn't miss any of those important dates or anything. So my first priority at that time was home and my grandfather. So I decided to wait. And for me, I was still in the environment. Orangeburg, for those of us that are from or attended South Carolina State or Claflin, when you're still in that environment and at the time you're still young, so it's like the desire never left, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So you're amongst some of the greatest to ever cross Alpha Xi or Gamma Chi. So you're in the middle of all that. So that community has always been there. But that need and desire for community service for me actually began at Battery Park. So I'm a proud product of Battery Park. And for us, if you attended Battery Park, St. Mark, Blakely, Cades, Hebron, during that time, it was like our first exposure to a HBCU in so
Right.
many ways. So it was instilled in us. So it felt like home. So when you think about service, or when I think about service, I think about those early roots with Janie Cooper being our principal. You had Dolores Williams that was there as one of our teachers, and all these now are, of course, women of Delta. So it's always been there. So it wasn't even whether or not what kept me there or what started me there for the grad chapter. It's always been there,
Mm,
even within my family. So it just kind of carried on, if that makes sense.
mm,
Throughout that, it just kind of honed in. So when you're still in that environment, you're still young, yet at the same time, you're like, is this what I really want to do? Because from a grad chapter standpoint, and KJ will probably understand that too, it has to be a desire. It has to always have been there, because it's not for us to join the parties. It's not for us to do any of those things. We're working adults, so we're in our career. So it takes a different level of commitment. It's no longer, oh, I can come home on a Thursday night, I'm gonna go to the party.
mm.
No, we're doing this while we're going to work. So we're doing those shifts, and then we have to come back and we have to dedicate that time. So it's a different level of dedication when you get to that level.
And
Thank you.
also, I want to interject and
Yes,
piggyback
sure.
something that Yolanda said. She talked about key people in her formative years. And I think back to Gloria Boyd, who was my middle school principal. I think I think for us, we had key people that instilled in us the importance of giving back and learning about ourselves and taking pride in ourselves. And then when you go to, not saying that you don't get it at a PWI, but ain't nothing like a HBCU. And when
It
you get
really is not.
when you get there and you see black pride and you see black people taking pride in the things that they're doing and the accomplishments that they're making and wanting to build that community up, it's nothing like that. So what it did was it extended what was already in us. And then you have organizations on campus such as Delta. And again, Delta, of course, is not the only sorority out. I mean, we won't go there, but when you if you look at the history of all of the sororities and even the fraternity, each
Yes.
one of us have some type of component that is geared towards community and civic engagement. So it's just a matter of which one of the organizations touch you or you can relate better with. But I just want to
Exactly.
interject that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
For a second, Kendra, you said you was aging yourself, but I felt like Yolanda was doing the same thing. She went to Battery Park and Case Hebron, and I was like, wait a minute, hold on, you.
No, no. I went to Battery Park, but I'm just saying
No,
those
you
are
started
specific
mentioning those
dates.
things. I'm like, she's definitely aging herself. But one thing I would say, I love what you mentioned, and KJ, I'm going to yield to you. But the one thing Yolanda mentioned that I love is she talked about when she started at South Carolina State in regards to the to like getting into quote unquote Delta, and it was under the circumstances of her grandfather in regards to where it kind of put a pause. But even in that, you didn't stop, right?
Mhm.
And so that's one thing I'm hopeful that the viewers take from just being out there in the world itself. Like life is going to bring us challenges, but you don't have to stop, right? So KJ, I'm going to come to you because you didn't pledge at Morehouse, and I talk about that experience in regards to just what she said. Like you didn't stop, you still saw what was considered community, and what is that like for you to inspire not just young people, but it can be even older individuals that still want to get involved in the Greek organization world. What words of encouragement would you offer to them?
My words of encouragement would simply be, if your heart is there, then do whatever it is that your heart desires.
That's the
Um,
key.
and, fraternities and sororities are a vehicle by which we serve our communities. But if that isn't in your heart, you'll be one of those people who may become a member but aren't quite as active. So this is an actual way of life for us. Service is a way of life for us. This is a brotherhood and sisterhood to each of us. And I have the privilege of being able to say that I can go anywhere and know that I'm amongst people that will be there for me and and have sort of a sense of community. And it's just a different sense of pride when we see one of our brothers or sisters, even walking through the airport. Oftentimes in my travel, it just brings you a different type of excitement. And the theme of this all, I think that we all would agree with, is unity. And
Mhm.
of course, caveats to the Juneteenth event, but I know Turquoise has something in there as far as promo for that. But it all walks in that same sort of model there, and that's unity amongst it all. So I say all that to say, if this is something that one is interested in, I would first ask that person, how have you been of service to your community? Because that's what matters what matters the most is giving back to our community.
Yeah. And
Thank
if
you.
I could,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. If
You
I
good?
could, KJ made a very good point. I think all of us were who we were before Delta, before Omega.
Right.
He is absolutely right. It was instilled in us, from home and throughout life. And that's a serious thing that you have to really ask yourself. Because the level of commitment, especially again for us for within our careers, it is a sacrifice.
Mhm.
So when it comes down to community engagement, we're trying to not only engage others with regards to taking ownership to what actually is going on within that community, but we
Mhm.
also have to keep ourselves engaged,
Right.
and that's hard sometimes.
Yes.
It can get you know down and out sometimes, and sometimes I'll have to call Kendra. Sometimes I have to call you. And as Carrie said, you reach out to even your brothers of Omega Psi Phi for us. Um, we can't do this alone. So it's about unity. It's about
Mhm.
unified a unified front, if that makes sense. So we're really trying to make sure that we can do that within our community. That is so vitally important, especially in these days and time.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I mean, great engagement here. And something you mentioned, Yolanda, you talked about community engagement. A word that's kind of came to mind to me as I was sitting here is service. And so you all have definitely been doing that. And if I could say kudos to both you and Miss Kendra, if I'm not mistaken, you all holds again president and vice president of your chapter, which is two major seats in the very much local organizations. And like you say, sometimes it could be challenging.
Mhm.
Trying to balance your day to day professional world as well as give back to your community as a whole. And sometimes that could be a great barrier, but there's something else within that as we talk about service. And so I want you all to have an opportunity, so viewers, so parents, so young people that are listening or will go back to listen to this. Can you tell us about any current programs, scholarships, mentoring initiatives that you all have that people can get involved with? Because oftentimes you hear parents, well, my kids don't have anything to do. They don't, there is nothing for them to do. And KJ, at any point you can jump in and share anything from the fraternity side as well.
Absolutely. So I'll yield to the ladies first, I'm assuming, right?
So one of the programs we have the sorority has three mentoring programs. The Delta Academy, the Dr. Jean L. Noble Delta Gems, and Embody. Embody focuses on our black males. But what we have that has been a staple for us has been our Delta Gems program, and it targets 14 to 18-year-old females. We have been up and going for about 10 plus years now. We currently have about 16 girls this year. So as a matter of fact, our last meeting is this upcoming Saturday, and we will be recruiting for more girls in the upcoming year, probably in August or September. So please be on the lookout for information about that. And hopefully, one of the things that we want to start up under this administration is establishing a body with for our Black males. So that's going to be on our next checklist of things to do.
Good. That would be awesome. So I do want to, you mentioned be on the lookout. Can you tell the viewers again how they would be looking for this information in regards to churches? Is it contacting their school counselors? Can you give us a little bit more into that?
So if they, so we will probably send. We let me tell you what we've done in the past. We have sent announcements to our churches through our chapter members. If they know a chapter member, then they can reach out to that chapter member. Of course, our chapter member also reaches. They have their list of people that they can recommend, but they can easily get. If not hard to find on Facebook. If they want to tag, if they want to reach out to me through Facebook, or either go through our page, Queen Street Lake City Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta on Facebook, and send a message through there about expressing interest, we can make sure that they get an application.
Thank you. And Yolanda, if you don't mind mentioning, can you tell us the areas in what in regards to what your chapter, like your service areas, and what local high schools that fall under?
Certainly. We currently service the area of Williamsburg County and Laura PD, which in that case, or Laura Florence, which would be Lake City. So within that area, we have, of course, the various communities. We have Greeleyville, or you think about with regards to the four high schools. So if you think about C.E. Murray, well, C.E. Murray, I'm dating
You're
myself
in high
again.
school now.
It's not, but you know what? We still going to say C.E. Murray.
Oh
So
yeah.
they really their area, King Street, Lake City, J. Paul, Hemaway. So we encompass all of that. So for those serious service areas that we have, so anyone within that area, any young lady that's there, as Sarah Wilson said, even with the guidance counselors themselves. So even if the young ladies aren't hearing this or the parents aren't hearing it, we reach out directly to the guidance counselors as well. And they've done a phenomenal job in helping us get the word out. In addition to our chapter members, I can't thank them enough. We've had a recent push, and we just awarded our scholarships with regards to that. We do that annually with regards to all of those four high schools within our area. And with there, we had just an amazing group of young men and women. And it was so refreshing to actually see them come in. And one thing that um, it just blew my mind is the young men.
Mm.
And KJ probably can attest to that coming from the fraternity side. We worry about all of our youth, but our young men, especially with the recent rise in gun violence, and to see them come in dressed professionally and just blow us out of the water with their interviews with regards to that. That just was amazing. So kudos to not only the parents, the family, their village, but those school counselors, any mentors, the church members, all that actually matters. So this has just been amazing what we've seen with regards to the product. It's some great, wonderful things that come out of our community and our county, and we're all products of that.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing.
Thank you. I want to. I'm coming to you, KJ. But something Miss Kendra mentioned that is pretty much something that they're looking to do coming up next year, and that is the embodied kind of where they kind of focus more on the males.
Mhm.
Um, and I love it. I love it. Just as Miss Yolanda mentioned, we love our females, but to really hone on our males is going to be a great impact. And so, KJ, if you would kind of tell us in hearing that, what's in your mind to now go back to the brothers and say, hey, the Deltas is looking to roll this out. How could we either merge? How could we emphasize on what we already have in place to help increase the awareness? Tell us what's your take on that.
Absolutely. Well, I'll first start off by saying that we always welcome partnership and collaboration, which is something that we've had the privilege of doing with the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta in the past. But with that, of course, my engine is sort of turning here to see how we can collaborate, and that's something that I welcome conversation with both or all of the ladies on this call moving forward. But something that I would sort of emphasize that we are currently doing as it relates to our young men, and it's something that we've always been doing since before my time, and that, of course, that is the Omega Boys Camp. We're sending our young males to camp for a week. And they travel, they go to camp, they're interacting with young males across the entire district, that being South Carolina, North Carolina. These young men are all coming together for a camp to sort of hone in on their skills as young males, their leadership skills, and sort of have that male adult touch, as you would say. That's something that we've been doing for a while, and I'm excited about. But in addition to that, we have our scholarship program that is not just catered to young men, but both young women and young men are able to apply for the scholarship opportunity by writing an essay. Oftentimes, by which the topic is selected around current events or something that's sort of highly relevant in our community at that specific time. And that's something our youth have been able to engage with. But I'll also take it a step further in discussing something that I've heard at Morehouse, and we've sort of been trained to adapt to, and it's what they see is what they'll be. And Omega Men are everywhere. We're in the classrooms, we're the entrepreneurs, we're the attorneys, we're the politicians. So we sort of try to lead by example in a lot of ways and touching these young men where they are. If it's in the classroom, if it's at their job where we have Omega Men in leadership. That's sort of some of the things that we do in the different fields and in different ways. So back to the secondary part of your question, to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, I would like to formally extend the opportunity to partner on that and support you all in any way that we can.
Hey, you got
Absolutely.
you got the cheese right there.
Absolutely.
There
Yeah,
you go.
absolutely. And one thing I can appreciate about what we're doing tonight is giving us an opportunity to share some of the things that our chapters are doing through our organization. What When Yolanda and I stepped into this role, one of the things that was part of our vision was to be more visible. And I've also noticed the same thing with the Delta Row chapter. You all are starting to pick up your social media presence on Facebook or in Instagram or TikTok. Well, I haven't seen y'all on TikTok yet, but anyway, I think what happens or what has happened is we have a lot of good things going on. We do a lot of good things in our chat in our community through our chapters, but because we have not been showcasing it and putting it out there, people don't know. So I'm glad that we're doing the June. We've been invited to participate in Juneteenth because that will give us an opportunity to share with the community what we do in this area. So thank
Absolutely.
you.
And Turquoise, if I may,
Yeah, I was going to ask you to. Yes, go ahead.
absolutely. I saw Miss Keisha Gregg comment and asked what the name of the boys camp is, and it is Omega Boys Camp. You can DM us on Facebook to learn more information at Delta Row Q, and we'll be glad to share more information about the boys camp.
Thank you, thank you. There is also just another comment um, in the comment area as well, just saying, connect with the Prince Hall Masons of South Carolina. So thank you all too, because you all are indeed doing great work on the Eastern Stars and Mason side too. Thank you all for viewing in. Again, if you have more questions, just like Miss Keisha, please drop them in the comments area. But what I also want to go back and say too, I commend both these organizations, along with many others. It's not just the service, it's not just the events, as Miss Yolanda mentioned, it's not just the collegiate side of what's considered the partying on the yard. I love the fact that you all emphasize on the scholarships, right? Because many young people graduating from high school, and I'm sure Miss Kendrick can attest to that, and some of them don't have the fortune of finance. But you all are every year making a great impact to these young people by offering scholarships. And as Miss Young, all they have to do with the young men, you just so thrilled. It almost gives you chills just to witness how some of them come in dressed for success. And so I just want to say thank you all, along with the other organizations that are really pouring into our young people through scholarships. Um, I want to go to a next part because something Ms. Kendra said that this platform is giving you an opportunity just to talk about your organization and what you do. And obviously when we kind of twist it back around, we hear about service and community, but it's also where you all tend to put on events. But while you talk about these events, I also want you to share that it's just not events. These are considered fundraisers so that you all will continue to provide the services that you all are doing in the community. So if you would, please tell us any upcoming events that you all have so that the community is definitely aware of it.
Okay. So in the next couple of, well, of course, Friday we will be participating in Juneteenth on Friday. Saturday morning, our Miss Jabberwock and Little Miss Jabberwock will be participating in the Juneteenth parade in Lake City. We also will have a scholars luncheon for our scholarship recipients, as well as the graduates of members of the chapter to celebrate their accomplishment. We will be partnering with the Old Mount Zion Church for their back to school bash July 18th. And we also have on August 8th our Southern Summer Soiree, which is it was our springtime at the ranch event that was supposed to be held Memorial Weekend, but it was rescheduled because of the weather. So that date is August 8th, and the tickets are $45. We also will be having a back to school sneaker ball September 19th. Of course, we'll be back in school, but that is also an opportunity. That's a sneaker ball for the kids. So for elementary age, they get a chance to dress up with their sneakers, and I'm excited because I went and bought me a dress.
Oh,
I need to find me some sneakers. Um, it's not Bobos, the name brand.
because you know how the young people coming, right?
Did you then I know
Right.
what bubbles are?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You absolutely right. I need to go find me some J's or something. I don't know.
There
There
you
you
You got to speak
go.
English. Yes, there you go. Oh,
And then, of course, our holiday social in December. So,
okay.
and all of the monies that we raise from that goes towards our programs and planning for the sorority. So,
Thank you, thank you, KJ.
did I miss anything, Yolanda?
But before you jumped in, I do want to go to Miss Yolanda. Um, your holiday social is kind of one of those every year signature event. If I could, if you all would agree with me, can
Yes.
you? Miss Kendra mentioned the August 8th date was kind of a reschedule. Can you tell us a little bit more in details of what the community can look forward to coming out to that event?
Oh man, you can look forward to just one heck of a time, okay? We're looking to provide just like that laid back, relax. This is the end of the summer type vibe. We're looking to provide the entertainment. We're gonna have entertainment that's coming there with our live band, DJ. We have our food trucks that's gonna be there. We have vendors that will also be on site. But most importantly, it's just an opportunity for us to get together, to just relax, enjoy good music, enjoy a good time, to make sure that you have that. And as you know, Miss Wilson said, this is all to give back. So whatever we get, we give that back. So that's why we continuously give out those scholarships. And we don't only just give out scholarships, we also provide support to all those schools in the form of donations for athletics. We could sponsor a team or athletic team. We'll provide, lunch and or dinner before or after the games. We'll look forward to supporting the arts at those various schools, even within the community, with our food banks that's local there or any other type of assistance that we can give. And all of that is in conjunction with, again, the wonderful sorrows that we have within our chapter. We can't do anything. So our mission, which is of course, is boots on the ground for
Purpose
this
and
past
mission.
year.
Mhm.
We couldn't thank our chapter members enough in supporting just our initiative. Even with Delta Road, with a lot of the things that we do, we couldn't do it by ourselves. So we thank them as well. I also saw um, Mr. Williams on there. He's the incoming president for the Pi Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma. Um, we just can't do this by ourselves.
Mhm.
So that's what we look. But look forward to a wonderful and amazing time when Delta Sigma Theta comes through, or we come through all
Whew,
the way.
whew.
Okay.
Oh,
Don't
and I
stop.
left one thing off too. This is the year of Jabberwock for us, so we are getting ready to hit the boots ground running with our
Yeah.
Jabberwock pageant, which is our big scholarship pageant. So look out for information to come soon.
Okay. I do want to ask Miss Kendra or Yolanda, can you tell the viewers where they could look at getting tickets for August 8th?
Oh, certainly. You can go to our website at www.klcalumnidst.org. You can find us on our social media platform. As Ms. Wilson said earlier, our Facebook page, King Street Lake City Alumni Chapter of DST, also on IG or Instagram as well. We also have our QR codes that you'll find within all of those various areas as well. You can purchase your tickets there. Or you can go to Zephy.com and you can do a search for us, King Street Lake City Alumni Chapter, and our event will pop up and you can purchase those tickets there. Or reach out to your favorite member of Delta Sigma Theta or KLC, and we'll certainly tell you how you can get those tickets.
Thank you. Thank you for that. KJ, again, we talked about the Deltas having their signature holiday social event, which I, it's been a number of years. I don't even want to sit here to even guess how many years. But to you, what signature event that you would like to highlight and that people could continue to get involved in if they've never been, and what that does with the fundraisings to the services that you all provide?
Absolutely, thank you. And one of the, I'm sure everyone knows, the signature event that Delta has every year is the Mardi Gras event. And we've had it for the first time in about, well, since COVID. We've had it for the first time since COVID in the past couple months. And it was an extremely successful event. Everyone had an amazing time. And I'll say that I had an amazing time as well, even though we had to put in a lot of work to make that happen. But what we receive from that event is what it's about, and what we received, it gives us the ability to give back to our youth. As Yolanda said, not just in the form of scholarships, but being able to serve as sponsors, or even how we're supposed to be in the parade on Saturday. That gives the ability to purchase the candy and all that to put the smiles on the youth's face. That's what it's all about. But I do have a very, very special event that we do have coming up called the Sundress and Linen event that will take place on June the 27th from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. All right, that's on June the 27th. We have a sundress and linen event. We're asking everybody to come in your best summer attire. Put your sundresses on, put your linen on, come out, have a great time. And again, all proceeds are not just for us to collect and keep, but that goes back to the youth in our community. How you can purchase tickets, I just shared it on my personal Facebook page again. And my name on Facebook is, as you see it here, Kerry D. Singleton Jr. And it is on our page, the Delta Row Keys page, where you can purchase tickets through Eventbrite. But the conventional way, or traditional way, as I would say, as Ms. Kendra shared, is find a brother, your favorite brother of the Delta Row chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, where they have physical tickets. We do have early bird tickets that are $35 until the week of the event, and then they go up to $40 at the door. We have good vibes, good music, the whole nine. So we're asking everybody to come out and fellowship with us.
Thank you. So I want to transition a little bit. We started the broadcast with Miss Cooper, who is very engaged in the community, and she kind of highlighted the organization that she's a part of, what We Deserve Better, and just the planning of the Juneteenth event that will happen this Friday. Can you all, in your own way, How do you see the connection between Juneteenth and civil engagement?
Oh man.
I could go ahead and jump in if I may.
Go
Um,
ahead. Whatever you say, that's what I say too.
uh, well, Juneteenth is a holiday where we commemorate, of course, our freedom. We commemorate having the ability to be where we are now in fellowship as free people. Juneteenth has been celebrated by the Black community since the year of 1866. I'm not the best at math. That's a long time. So us coming together to continue that effort, and again going back to the overall theme of unity, is extremely important. And how this wraps around to the Divine Nine and the work that we do is because we all come together for a greater cause and a greater purpose, and that is to uplift our community. That is to identify problems in our community and not just point them out, but provide solutions and figure out ways by which we can strategize to give back and provide a better tomorrow for our youth. So an event such as Saturday and bringing us back together as one, especially in Williamsburg County, where it is a predominantly black county, it's important that we commemorate these holidays. It's important that we remember our roots. It's important that we understand the struggles that have came before each of us so that we can enjoy the privileges that we have in today's society and not being so foolish enough to be so spoiled in it that we don't realize the privilege that we do have. So I want to say this is extremely important, and I love Juneteenth. It's a holiday that I celebrate harder than the 4th of July. I'm tell nobody. But it's something that I love because it brings us together. And anytime it's anything that brings my people together, I'm all for it.
Thank you for that. Miss Yolanda, I'll go for you since that was both KJ and Kendra answer. um, as I sat here and hear him just talk,
Yeah.
I tend to think that many people, celebrate Juneteenth as a day of freedom.
Mhm.
Just thinking of just the many years that people have sacrificed over time, and so how can we turn celebration into action? As KJ mentioned, like, hey, Williamsburg County is predominantly black, and so we look at the struggles and the challenges that we have. But how can we turn the celebration into action as we look at improving our community?
I think one of the great and amazing things uh, that Mrs. Cooper has done through We Deserve Better in conjunction with Williamsburg County and the city of Kingstree is it's not just about the celebration. It's about the advocacy. She is highlighting, along with the Juneteenth committee, the various civic organizations. You have representation there with regards to um, education, local, state, and in some cases, national leaders that will be there. So it's not only just about freedom, but it also signifies unity. When you think about Juneteenth, you think about those that look like all of us that are online. But that committee itself, excuse me, really signifies unity. We have varying people from different races and ethnicities that are on there that believes the same thing that we're here and we're talking about. Because we really can't move forward not unless we have some type of unity, some type of engagement together. We all want the same thing. We want peace. We want to see our community actually grow. Uh, those of us that are dating back, and yeah, Miss Wilson and myself and Turquoise too. Don't even get it twisted. We remember the county when it was flourishing.
Hmm.
We remember that we didn't even have to go to Lick City. You could get everything that you needed right there in the little town of King Street. You could go to Hemingway. You could get what you needed. Neesmith had a post office. You know, so when you think about engagement itself, is about making sure that you really have a vested interest in your community. One thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is in order for companies to actually come to our community, we have to give them something. We have to offer them something. We have to make sure that we have a community that is not only engaged and they believe in the community themselves, but you also have to be educated in that. So we have to support Williamsburg Tech. We have to make sure that Tech has the program that we need in order to make sure that when these companies come in, they know that they're getting a community that is prepared to work. So all that starts with us being unified. So it's not just about the D9. It's about the Masons, the Eastern Stars. It's about the other organizations that may not be represented here, NAACP. It's all of us. So regardless of how it is that we actually may look, we're all here for one common goal, and I think that's peace, unification, the elimination of the gun violence that we've seen here on Rise. So I think great things are coming, and it starts this Saturday.
Thank you for
Can
that.
I chime in there,
In
And
Turk?
Friday,
sure,
Friday.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
go ahead,
absolutely.
KJ.
I think that morale is important for movement, right? It starts with sort of getting us energized in order to mobilize. It's something that I realize is extremely important. And again, I think energy is important, and I think back to my days of graduating from Morehouse in flourishing Atlanta, where there's just so much to do and all of that. But in my heart, I knew I wanted to get back to give back to Williamsburg County because I realized the rich history of our county. I realized the sweat equity that was put in by our forefathers and our ancestors, so that we can enjoy the Williamsburg County that we know. And it's our duty to instill that morale back in our county. And it starts with, of course, Friday. But to your question about action, it's joining one another, holding hands, and sitting down at the table and have a meeting of the minds to say, what are we going to do to tackle this issue moving forward? Gun violence isn't something that's new, but it's something that we're seeing an uptick in. So we have to realize where can we meet um, my age demographic to say, okay, it's time to put this to an end. And I think unity starts the conversation. But to your point, continued conversation, policy, education, all of these resources, all of these things matter in order to move us forward.
Thank you both for sharing that. The one thing I was sitting here thinking about what Miss Yolanda mentioned when she talked about Miss Cooper is definitely just giving her age gap from us is definitely a major gap, but she still see the interest of wanting the young people to be at the forefront. I mean, she has her ways or her techniques from an older generation standpoint. But just as you mentioned, while we celebrate Juneteenth and we know that is catered to looking at people like us, the committee itself doesn't see color. We see people that wants to drive the forefront on what and better to get back to those days, like Yolanda said, we don't have to go to a Lake City because we see the rich within our own community. And so she would always have this thing to say, we have to do what's best and better for the community, Turquoise. And she's exactly right. But like KJ said, it's going to have to take the like-minded individuals to be able to have conversations like these to kind of say what's next. We're not going to just talk about it, we want to move with action. And one thing that KJ I wrote down that you mentioned is policy and resources. I would say this before I move on to the question is no organization, Greek organization, nor this platform endorse any candidate in regards to elections. However, we could share that these organization does focus on social action. And so as you was talking about policies and resources, I think it's also important that our young people, even to our seasonal individual, understand when we talk about civil engagement, that is also the process of voting. You know, many people would say, well, it don't matter. I did it Obama and that was it, but we still in a county where we want it to look like other areas. And in order to do that, we got to get to the voting polls. We got to make sure that we are voting, staying engaged. And so voting is important. We see that civil engagement includes volunteering, mentoring our young people, you know, attending meetings, advocating for issues, and just staying informed overall. And so I asked the question to you all. We have a general, we just finished our primaries. for South Carolina back in June 9th. We would have runoff in certain areas on the 23rd, but as most of us are waiting to proceed to our general election in November, what do you see voting looking like for you, and or what encouragement that you would offer in your own perspective, profession, organization based, or just as a community member as we look forward to our general election in November?
I would say be an informed voter. Don't go by what you see on Facebook or what somebody tells you as far as your circle of people. You need to do your own research and you need to vote according to how you feel, not what someone else says. And I think that we have a lot of that or lack thereof because sometimes because of the campaigning, it muddies the waters, especially if it's not a good campaign. And what I've if I've listened when I talk to some people that make the decision, the conscious decision to not vote, it's because some of it is because I don't want to get into that.
Mhm.
Not understanding the what happens when you don't vote. When you don't vote, you still voting because your silence gives consent. So
Mhm.
I think moving into the general election for November, we need to be very be very intentional of how we go about and look at the candidates, look at the issues, and go for the issues that and have a good clear understanding before you go into the polling area.
Thank you for that. Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. To Kendra's point, um, for those who say I don't do politics, I simply tell them all the time, politics is doing you.
Yeah.
It's doing your pockets when it's time to pay taxes. It's doing you when you drive up the street and you crack a rim because it's a major pothole. It's doing you when you have policies that have literally been created to silence or single out your demographic. So I encourage everyone to get out and exercise your voice. And one thing that we fall victim of far too often is using our voice on social media, but not mobilizing and getting to the polls to say how it is that we feel. It's great to make a Facebook post and talk about how I feel. And, everybody on this call knows I do it all the time. But I match that with getting to the poll. I match that with encouraging others to vote. And while I may have my pick sometime, I encourage people just to go vote. It doesn't. I'm not going to force a specific candidate on you. I just want you to get out and exercise your right to vote. So when things happen down the line, you're not one of those people sitting back saying what is not happening. And I call that sort of reactionary constituency versus being proactive and getting out and saying, this is what I want to see and this is what I'm going to do about it. The other thing that I encourage folks to do instead of complaining on social media. Go to council meetings, go to school board meetings, call your senator, call your House of Rep, and tell them how you feel versus just going to social media when you didn't show up to a PTA meeting at the school, but you complaining about a decision that the principal made.
Mhm.
Just these different things matter as it relates to civic engagement. So as we move into November and as we gear up even for the runoffs that are coming up, I encourage everybody to turn your complaint into mobilization, get out, exercise your right to vote, and do what you feel is best for your community and your household.
Thank you.
Yes, most definitely. Honestly, for me, and some of us probably can relate. Voting for me was something that was instilled really by my family. I went to vote with my grandparents, my great grandparents. So I remember that. They took pride in that, and they never missed a date. My grandmother will be 90 years old next month, and she never missed a date to vote. Um, and I don't live. I'm a product of Williamsburg County, Neesmith to be specific, but um, I live what I say I'm going to do. I live in Columbia, but I come back home to give back to my community. And it starts really at home. We have to be able to be what people need to see. I think KJ stated that earlier. We also need to be educated and informed, as Ms. Wilson said. You have to recognize if we don't have access to the resources, then when our children leave Williamsburg County and they go to Morehouse, they go to USC, they go to South Carolina State, they're behind. I see it because I teach college, and I'm seeing where if they don't have access to those resources, um, we can't compete on that level. And access to those resources starts locally.
Hmm.
Hold your elected officials accountable.
Mhm.
I know that state, voting for our state senators and our representatives, the presidents is vitally important. But guess what? None of that matters if we put the wrong individuals in those offices locally.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, think
Absolutely.
about who your county councilmen and women are, your judges, your magistrates. Everything matters. You know, so I would like to see us actually start to have sessions where we educate the community about local government.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand local government. They don't. We blame people for things, not knowing that that's not actually what they can do.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And we have to know what is it that our local, politicians and or governance can and can't do. It starts with that. But like I said, hold them accountable. KJ said it. Go to those school board meetings.
Mhm.
Even if initially you may not know what's going on, start. Listen to it. Take a notebook down, write down those notes. When you go back home, ask questions. They owe us answers.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
They owe us answers. Our first level of politics starts in the church. It starts at home, but it starts at church too. So I challenge those organizations, those faith-based organizations, go back to old school. Some things are just go back to old school.
Mhm.
Start having those meetings in church. Start saying, having us to make sure that we are informed. So when services are over, stay a little bit over and be able to invite someone over to say, hey, come in, talk to our congregation, talk back to the communities so they know who these people actually are. You have sometimes when you go to the poll, you're ready to vote, and people are on that list and you don't know who they are.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yep.
Agree to that. Yes.
And Yolanda, can
That's
I chime
that's a
in there?
problem.
Yeah, can I chime in there if you don't mind?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, to that point of not knowing who folks are, one thing that I'll kind of go back a little ahead in the conversation when we talked about before we joined our Greek letter organization, we had a heart for service prior to becoming a member. I asked that we hold that same standard to elected officials.
Mhm.
Um, what
Exactly.
have you done before you were seeking this office? It's one thing to feed me a vision. It's one thing to tell me what you can do. It's one thing to feed me a fish sandwich. But what have you done before you were seeking this office? And that is extremely important as we move forward in civic engagement in the political hemisphere. What have you done to earn our trust? And that's something that we have to revert back to. It's okay to go along with sounds good, but let's talk about what is being done. And again, holding our elected officials accountable once they get the seat, right? They're up for reelection. If they're not doing what needs to be done, let's rally together and get them out of there. I tell folks that all the time when I'm advocating for a candidate. If they go in and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, vote them out, and that's what it takes.
Thank
Yeah,
you
and,
all.
and, and most definitely. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
No, no, no.
Turquoise.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to cut
No,
you
I
off.
was saying most definitely, and to add to what you asked, with us going into the general election, I want to see that same energy that we have for the primaries, because the primaries now essentially is over. So whomever your person is, or whomever for whatever particular party, it's time for all of us to be behind whomever those individuals are. It
Absolutely.
is bigger. It is so much bigger. Democracy is on the line. And I'm not quite sure if everyone understands that. So my challenge is to all organizations, whether it be civic, faith-based, D9 that's here, we have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you all are serious with the things that you are saying in the comments, join us. Reach
Yes.
out to us. We will reach out to you because we are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Answer it. So we reach out, answer it. Call us, see us. You know how to find us. It is time for us to actually be unified. Let's join those organizations that really want to bring about change. And like everyone is saying, let's hold them accountable. Let's hold ourselves accountable. It starts with us.
Mm-hmm.
Self-assessment is real.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to hold ourselves self accountable. But let's get behind these people to let's get them, as KJ said, let's get them out of there. If they're not doing anything, let's go.
Thank you, thank you. I would read one comment here. It said we need to do a better job of showing people what an educated voter looks like and how an engaged citizen should act. It's too often that political, I'm chopping my own words up.
Okay.
Becomes nothing more than back and forth arguments and bickering on social media. Democracy works best when people listen, learn, debate respectfully, and stay involved. If we want those who do not vote or those who are on the fence about voting to participate, we have to set a better example. We cannot ask people to engage in the process while showing them the worth of it. And I definitely agree.
I
Let's
agree with
demonstrate that civil engagement is about ideals, solution, and serving our communities and not tearing each other down. The next generation of voters is watching. Let's give them a reason to believe that their voice matters, and that definitely contests to what you all have mentioned
Exactly.
here.
That's well said. Well said.
Well said.
Very well
Absolutely.
said. On top of my
Absolutely.
cutting it up, but you all understand the point.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Yeah.
important. It is often two times not that we see ourselves as black on black tearing each other down, and it happens. But just in the no matter what party, as Miss Yolanda mentioned, that you are in, we're done with the primaries. And if
Right.
you're truly about saying that you've advocated for a candidate or a specific party and you're ready to move on to June, it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to come together as we talk about civil engagement. We talk about Greek organizations coming together to work for the better cause of it. Then I ask the question, where are you now? We cannot
Absolutely.
go silent. As
Right.
much as noise that we've been making and bickering back and forth, it's time to have a bigger bark.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to
Yes.
have a bigger bark. And so if we want to put boots on the ground and we want to twist and turn, this is the time to do it.
That's right.
That's right.
November, we need to have more boots on the ground with nobody wearing them. If the boots just
Yes.
on the ground, we just need to
Yep.
have that. It's important that we see that. And again, as the comment said, our young people are watching.
Right.
Our young people.
Right.
I sent my nephew the. You probably saw me sharing it with the different candidates, and so I tell them all the time, y'all like them phones in your hand. Here, go and do the research on these candidates. And so we went to the voting polls together, and obviously they can't click per se, but they're sitting there watching it, and I was so taken back. I'm clicking name, and he said I didn't pick that person. Mind you, I never really follow up to see if he actually did it. So I
Hmm.
paused for a moment. I was like, what do you mean? And literally, he was telling me the difference between both candidates and his why. I was blown. And he's
Wow.
10. So again, I do agree they are watching.
Yeah, we are.
We
Oh
got to
yeah.
be examples when we are quote unquote bickering or tearing each other down just to benefit a candidate that we are pushing. But in the standpoints of what KJ mentioned, they get in these seats and then they go silent. That's on us.
Absolutely.
Because as Ms. Kendra mentioned, we didn't inform ourselves enough. We went off of what someone said that they thought was best
Right.
versus
Yeah.
educating ourselves on what we feel like. And when they're not doing it, hey, stay in the air. Keep the conversation going. Keep them accountable of what they told us they would do while they're in those seats. So again, we can't go silent. I always say two things from a sports side of you either in the game or you on the sideline. And I can
Absolutely.
tell you all right now, there is no
Yes.
time to be on the sideline.
That's right.
If you don't even know the players, get involved. Use your best talent to say, hey, I can mobilize in this area and that area. I may not know this, but I know enough to do it in this area. What do you need? Get involved. Stay engaged. So I appreciate you all for just kind of sharing that in regards to what civil engagements look like when we talk about voting and getting people to the polls. I do want to highlight, just for viewers that may not know, because I feel like it's also important for people to know what organizations are doing in the area, specifically here in Williamsburg County. So, Yolanda or Miss Kendra, I'll toss this to you all. Can you all tell us what your Pacific organization is doing in regards to kind of highlighting the candidates that are looking to seek office,
Well,
or what you have to say?
we actually just had a candidates forum prior to the June primary. So that's one of the things that we have been doing every year. We would host a candidates forum and giving candidates that are running in the local area an opportunity to come and share their views, answer questions, and engage with the community. Now, we also have done voter registration. We have just recently started a Did You Know series where we drop nuggets of what things to look for. If you go to our social media page, there have been a plethora of posts pertaining to voting and what to expect, what you need to vote leading up to primary election, and look forward to kicking it up for general election. We got some things cooking a little bit, but yeah, that's one of the things that we've done consistently has been a candidates forum to give the community members an opportunity to meet the candidates and ask questions.
Thank you. So y'all going from boots on the ground to kicking it up. I love it. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah. We can get us some dust over here.
So I kind of want to wrap it up. I feel like tonight has just been a great conversation, in hopes that we can possibly have a spinoff or another series of it, because I feel like this is going to just drive more people to the table, and we want more people involved. While we wasn't able to secure all of the D9s here tonight, I do want to applaud or shout out Miss Janie McCrae, that was willing to be a part here tonight, but for some reason, technical difficulties didn't allow her to be here. And she is with the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority locally here in Williamsburg County. So I do just want to shout her out before I forget to say thank you, Ms. Janie. I understand technology has its way sometimes, but thank you for your willingness. And they're definitely doing some great things in the community as well. To you all, as we close tonight, we talked about the Juneteenth event that would happen this Friday here in King Street, and you all heard about the King Street Unity Park. And so I know a lot of people have been asking, like, where is that? That is the train station. Just to kind of give you some more clarity on where that location is. And again, it's from 3 to 7. We ask that you bring your walking shoes. It will be an opportunity to do kind of what is considered a unity walk around town. It's not long, but we will have an opportunity to do that. The members of the Divine Nine, some of the ones that you see here tonight, will be out there. I always tell people all the time, when you want to be a part of them, get involved with them. Don't wait until at college and you want to pledge or you want to go graduate chapter. Get involved before time, because I can assure you that's going to be a part of the process, that you don't wait until it's time to get involved. Go ahead and get involved now. They do a lot of things in the community, and they're always looking for volunteers. And so it's a lot of ways that you can get involved. So when you see them on Friday, have that conversation, introduce yourself, allow them to know who you are, and even what you may have going on that can be a collaboration. It was mentioned earlier in the comments that Miss Cooper, that also is the board member. I want to make sure I get it right, with the UNCF, for the PD region. Again, that's collaboration when we talk about scholarships and keeping our young people involved. So there's a lot of things out there when we talk about what to do. How could we get involved? I do want to share or leave us with this, if you all have any last minute words, but as people walk away from this platform tonight in your own way, and Ms. Kendra, your question, your answer cannot be combined with KJ went on this, and we love you too. In your own way, if you would just share what is considered a success story to you that you would emphasize to a young person, to stay positive or be a positive impact to their community, as well as them wanting to get involved in organizations like yours?
Hmm.
And anyone can go first on this one.
I would say look at the small victories. Don't look at the big ones. But sometimes we go into things and we're trying to look for this huge outcome that we may not see right then, but sometimes the victory is in the small things.
Yeah.
So it might be that one person that you didn't think was listening to you and really was listening to you and they really understood what you were saying. Um, just accept the small victories. And before I move on, I do want to address the UNCF because I think there was a question about will we collaborate, and we do participate in the UNCF gala every year. We have a table,
Thank
so
you.
mhm.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Carrie, I'll let you go.
If I could leave a little nugget, um, I guess as we close out tonight, it would be simply that when they count you out, young people, remind them every time that they cannot count. We're from Williamsburg County, where, of course, people put statistics in our face quite often. And of course, those being the negative statistics. But what they don't often share with you are positive statistics. The people who are doing amazing things around us and then right before our eyes. What they won't share with you is how Williamsburg County has produced record numbers in this primary that we just had. We've been a big part of that turnout that we've had right here in Williamsburg County. So every time they count us out, we simply remind them that they cannot count. We produce success stories, and you, the young people, you're next. I'm young too. I'm next, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna continue on the legacy that our ancestors have started, and the way we'll do that is unity.
Thank you.
Yes. Um, One of the words that we continuously said and the audience should have heard is the word unity.
Mhm.
Um, I think our greatest impact as organizations help happen when we move beyond personal missions and we move towards a unified goal. And that starts with things like what we're doing now, having the hard conversations. You always been taught, don't have, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion and all this other
Mhm.
stuff. Now is the time, and it was beyond time. We have to have those conversations about um, politics. We have to have or tell the ugly truth about how we actually got to this point. Because we need people like Miss Cooper to learn from her and others. You learn a wealth of information from your quote unquote I call them knowledge workers.
Mhm.
You know, you learn from people like that. Then we are charged with making sure that the generations behind us knows that, and I think it starts with that. And again, just strive to be good people. Every day is an opportunity to learn. Um, every day is not, or now is not the time to lose faith. We can and we will. We did it before. We will do it again. Um, do your research. If you don't know who Martin Luther King Jr. is, Malcolm X, if you don't know exactly what Juneteenth is, come out on Friday. We'll tell you what exactly Juneteenth is. But now is the time, and we only have two options: either we show up, or we're not going to be even in the conversation. Okay, that's where we're going towards. So if I can think of that, that's my thing. Let's move past those personal missions. Let's get together. Let's think about the key word that has always been ringing throughout this evening, which is unity.
Thank you. Thank you all for that. The one thing I would say to wrap this up is I say all the time, you have to meet people where they are, number one. And at this juncture, as you say, the one key word that we take away from this is unity. And I would tell you, Williamsburg County, South Carolina, and those that are in other states that are watching, we got to level up. Now is not the time that we sit back. Miss Yolanda said it so perfectly. Let's get away from all of the sidebar things. Our one of our comments here with Mr. Isaac mentioned, like, we have to have the conversations. We have to get away from the tearing down when it comes to campaigning and getting out there to really be a push. Because I look at it, how can we say we want to lead our community and want to be a great push to it, and this is the way we're presenting ourselves, but yet we want people to join together and be unified.
Absolutely.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work like that. You cannot tear down and then say, let's put it back together and move forward.
Right. Yeah.
At that point, the level of trust, the level of balance is not there anymore. And so to say that that's easier to do is just not. And so
Right.
I would encourage us, like, let's truly, truly be impactful when we say these things. Let's not just let it be spoken words. Let's truly put it into action and move forward. Again, this Friday is Juneteenth event. I would say you can look for me, look for my tent. I would definitely have it set up for voters registration. Every opportunity we get, we need to make sure that we're doing it. Every event that we have going on, faith-based related, field party related, we need voter registration to be there. Somebody needs to be there with the booth set up. You don't have to use the paper copy anymore. You got 3 minutes to use what everybody got, and that's a phone
Mm-hmm.
to
Yep.
register to vote. So you can look for me. We'll have prizes just to pretty much that you could put your name in the drawing board if you're a first time voter, if you haven't voted in a long time. It's just a lot of love that I feel like is going to come from Friday, and it surrounds, like Miss Yolanda mentioned, someone like Miss Cooper that saw just to do it, but not just for herself. She's engaging Greek organizations. She's engaging people of all colors involved to want to bring unity back to Williamsburg County. And we got to move forward with that. When we hear the negativity, the this and the that, we got to learn how to shut that down and let it stay down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way we're going to be moving forward. So I love tonight. I'm just hopeful that this will be another opportunity that we can have Martin Luther King back on the scene and Malcolm X. And I guess KJ tonight, I guess I'll let you be John Lewis, a little bit of the good trouble.
Yeah.
They know their names, so that's why they laugh. They already know their names. But I definitely encourage everyone to come
You
out.
wait till we get off. You wait till we get off.
Come out
Yes, yes.
bring some handheld fans, just whatever makes you comfortable coming out on Friday. We are expecting that the weather may be potentially hot weather. We just don't know that because we know the forecast could change. But prepare yourself. We want you there. Come out and hear from Level 10 again. Come and just be loved by many people and have those conversations while you out there. Let people know, y'all, I'm ready for November. I'm ready to vote. And I'm going to make sure my mama, daddy, sister, all those that said
Yeah.
can't get off and I don't want to, because of platforms like this, having conversation with leaders in our community, young leaders that are ready to stay engaged and get you engaged, have those conversations with them. So I want to say thank you to each of you for being willing to take a seat at the table tonight. And I ask that this don't be your last time. Um, Miss Kendra, thank you for your leadership with with the
Yeah.
Street chapter. Thank you, KJ, for not just coming aboard in the mega word bowl, because of you as a young individual. Believe it or not, you have other young men that is ready to take the same path. So I ask that you continue to lead in a good life that people will want to follow the organization as a whole. So Miss Yolanda, Miss Malcolm, thank you for always, she always have a way of putting a different perspective on things, and we just thank you for what you're doing to
Yeah.
the community. Something you shared earlier is this is home for you, but you are not here. But you make your way here very often, and that share light on your commitment to always
Mhm.
want to drive grassroots. And so we thank you for that as well. Thank you, Miss Cooper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you
Couldn't be done.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all.
community for what you're doing, and we ask that you continue to pave the way and show a good light on the young people that we have, and even to the other younger group, like your younger group.
That's exactly. I do understand.
Is there any last little brief highlights you want to give in regards to what we should look forward to for Friday?
Yes, ma'am. We just look forward to everybody coming out, and there'll be several booths of people registering to vote. If you know somebody that's not registered, you just said, please bring them out. We did amazing things on election day by working together in unity. So let's continue that effort. That people from across the state, the nation, have noticed what we do here. So hopefully Friday night after this event is over, that people will be reaching out to us saying what a wonderful event that we brought in unity with the Divine Minds, other community leaders, and anyone that has not participated on the sponsorship level or vendor level, please contact our committee, our team, Juneteenth, or any of the nine organizations. Again, Turquoise, I appreciate you for doing a wonderful job of having all of us be able to share information about our community, our town, and our people. And yes, Williamsburg County, North Carolina, we do indeed produce really wonderful and productive people. So let's keep moving and striving at what it is that it takes to make us better and best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all again. We look forward to having you back on this platform as we continue to engage for what you are doing. You all continue to follow their Facebook pages. Kingstree Lake City chapter have a number of platforms for social media, so link up. Either way, you can find them as Ms. Kendra mentioned. You can hit her up in her inbox, but there's a number of chapter members in the Kingstree Lake City area, so you can definitely reach out to her. Again, thank you all. Until next time, viewers, continue to take a view at broadcasting results with Rouse. Y'all
Thank
have a
you for having
Thank
us.
you.